Hey everybody, Chris Widener with your tech coach, Chris Pirillo. Hey everybody. We're just doing regular old Joe questions from me. I figured if I had the questions, you might have the questions. Because I'm a small business person and trying to learn all this tech stuff, trying to keep up on it. You know, if you think about it, back in history, from like the mid 1800s to like 70 years later, like the only technological advancement was what? From the horse to the car and maybe light. Did light come in? Was it that early in the 1900s? Now, I mean, it's like every day something crazy's happening. We live in the most amazing times. And one of the things that has just been crazy has been all the tablets now. The iPads, the Nexus, and now the new one from Microsoft, the Surface. And I thought you could talk to us a little bit about that one. We're right here in the backyard of Microsoft. Chris and I both live in the same town, Issaquah, which shares a border with Redmond, home of Microsoft. And so we hear about a lot of that stuff. And of course, now they're doing all their ads. We know that Microsoft has tried a lot to get into a lot of different arenas. Now they're making this entry into the tablet, which has already, got Apple and got Google. Tell us about the service. Pros and cons, good and bad.
And I think I talked about this before with 12 coaches, but now after having the experience with the Surface with Windows RT, also seeing what or how the market has reacted, not very well, by the way. In fact, Microsoft cut back its order on Surface with Windows RT computers. It wasn't selling well to begin with.
When you say RT, that's the operating system,
okay,
right?
So
I got to de-geekify
okay.
him here a little bit.
Okay.
We got to bring it down a little.
No, it's good because this is what Microsoft did. They introduced a massive amount of confusion with the release of Windows 8 simultaneously with the release of Windows RT. Yeah. They look exactly the same.
Not to be confused with CE.
No, that was Windows CE was actually old. Anyway, okay. So they look the same. Unfortunately, a Windows RT computer is not going to be able to run all of your classic Windows programs. So you know how you may have been used to going to the web and downloading an exe file and installing it. You can't do that with a Windows RT computer, a Surface with Windows RT or otherwise. There's two Surfaces though. There's Surface with Windows RT, and you can buy that, although I don't recommend it. And then the Surface Pro, which has not shipped yet. I am going to be getting a hold of that, so I run it through its paces. To add to this marketplace confusion of the two Surfaces, which look almost exactly alike, inside are almost completely different, running two completely different operating systems, and almost going after two different marketplaces at the same time.
So my natural question is, what brain surgeon was in charge of doing that?
Dude,
but with the brain trust up there in Redmond, somebody had to have said, I got an idea. Let's do one with this and one with this. And then somebody signed off on it.
No, okay, so this is, it's frustrating because now I'm finding myself placed inside of discussions where people are trying to compare the Surface Pro to an iPad, but they shouldn't be doing that. They should be comparing the Surface with Windows RT to an iPad because it's built to address that part of the marketplace. Right. And the Surface Pro is twice the price of a Surface with Windows RT and is going after the Ultrabook market, which is like, a notebook that's fast, it's got a nice screen, a traditional laptop construct for right around $1,000 versus right around $500, which is the price point for, at least the beginner iPad. Yeah. So there is a ton of confusion, and I'm going to try to clarify it again because I don't think repetition is going to hurt in this way. So if you're looking possibly at getting a Surface Pro, the advantage is really that you're replacing an Ultrabook or a notebook computer, and that's what it's designed to do. The challenge with the Windows 8 paradigm is that it is trying to be three different things all at one time, and that can lead to an extreme amount of frustration. And I was saying this months leading up to it. In fact, one of the videos that I had that went viral was one of my dad.
Well, isn't one of the most searched terms now? How do I switch back to Windows 7?
But don't feel bad when that happens because you're not alone in that feel or in that feeling, in that state, because or not just in the state of Washington. The idea of Surface Pro is to create the ultimate story for Windows 8, and what I've discovered. My feelings on Windows 8, my perspective on Windows 8 has not changed at all, but what I've discovered is that my experiences with Windows 8 have changed depending on the type of hardware I'm using. So if you're going to buy a Surface Pro, and I don't know if I can recommend it yet.
Right.
You have to get the Surface Pro, the thing that looks like the iPad, and or Microsoft's iPad, really. You have to get the accessory, the optional accessory, the type cover or the touch cover,
Right.
because with that is the keyboard as well as some type of touchpad. And the reason why is because in either Windows 8 or Windows RT, you are operating either inside the Metro experience with the little tiles that are either the live
Right,
update,
right.
or you're updating, or you're using the classic desktop. The Windows
Yeah.
that looks very familiar. And the classic desktop's not optimized for interacting with your finger. You need something like a trackpad or a touchpad and
Right.
a keyboard to help optimize your experience. So it's going to add cost. So I do not expect Surface Pros to sell as well. In fact, I expect Surface Pros to sell less well than the Surface with Windows RTs, which haven't sold well at all.
Right.
And the reason why is because people are going to look at the Surface Pro and think, well, that's an iPad, and it's outpriced in every way compared to its iPad or the Nexus 10 from Google, any other tablet that might be out there at half the price.
So scale of 1 to 10, Surface.
Uh,
10 being go out, literally turn off this and go buy it right now, and 1 is never even think about it. Recommendation.
For the Surface with Windows RT, I'd give it a 3.
Okay.
I haven't had the Surface Pro, so I can't speak from that experience.
Gotcha.
So I can't really compare it.
But you're underwhelmed, to say the least.
I'm a little concerned because it's overpriced. Because
Right.
what most people might need, they can accomplish with an iPad and an add-on keyboard at half the price.
Gotcha.
You don't need to have a PC to do PC things in every way. I mean, there's exceptions to every rule. I'm obviously using a traditional computer, or if it's not obvious, I'm using a computer right now to dump this video live into a file that I can edit on a traditional computer versus a tablet computer or a phone computer.
Cool.
Anyway.
There you have it. Underwhelmed with Surface, but it might fit the need for some people.